All right, everybody. So Trump today went ahead and paused the tariffs for majority of the countries except China. He ran ahead and increased their tariffs. Will that make the Democrats happy now? Because Democrats are all crying about the stock market and the retirements and everything like that. But are they happy now because the stock market is going up and it's continue going up? I doubt it. I doubt it makes them happy. All that and more in a few seconds. So please stay tuned for the Isaac Hayes Show. That's right, everybody. It's the Isaac Hayes Show, talking about life, talking about liberty, and talking about the pursuit of happiness, and showing everyone in the world that Cajuns do have intelligence. Some Cajuns have intelligence, as we said in the intro. Oh, what? It didn't show up yet. Let's go ahead and there we go. Haha, there we go. We got it up. According to the Daily Wire, this happened on the 9th of April. Trump drops tariffs for 90 days, except for China. President Donald Trump announced a 90-day pause on tariffs Wednesday afternoon, except for the tariffs on China, which the president raised to 125%. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, last week, Donald Trump went ahead and overwhelmingly put a tariff on every nation. This was including our allies. I didn't talk about it too much because there was a lot going on and I had some other stories I wanted to take care of. I kind of addressed it in my last video I did, where I talked about how I didn't like how the economy and the stock market just took a nosedive. This was one of the worst nosedives in American history. Donald Trump did have a plan, though, and this was something I also didn't like last week when they did this. You didn't know what was going on. The Trump administration, that JD Vance saying one thing, that Kara Lovett saying one thing, and it was just a lot of confusion going around, and I didn't like how that was going around. If you're gonna do something like this, you better have all your stories straight. I didn't like how the economy again took a nosedive. That was something that is not good for our country, and I thought that it would be better for Donald Trump to do this in a slow moving motion. Okay, and look, our economy has some issues. Okay, it does, but it was moving steadily up. Now these tariffs, though, it brought it all down, except for Wednesday. Wednesday, Donald Trump went ahead and paused the tariffs for 90 days. The economy went up. I think the Dow went up like 2,000 instantly, and it's continually going up. Now, listening to the Department of Treasury Secretary and the press secretary, they all were saying the same thing, that this was a strategized move by Donald Trump. Donald Trump feels that the other nations in this world have been abusing America. And he's right, okay? If you look at the numbers, these other countries have been tariffing America out of the you know what. It's been terrible. And I think one of them is Venezuela. I think it had like a 96% tariff on America. And this is one point I do want to make from last week. When Trump went ahead and passed these sweeping tariffs all over these countries, you never heard the left argue that, oh, they have tariffs on us and we need to try to balance the playing field. You never heard that whatsoever. All you heard was how America is bad and America needs to go ahead and stop doing this. Donald Trump needs to stop pushing tariffs, because if he pushes tariffs, it's going to hurt our economy. It's going to tax the American people. Look, Trump did something as well on a side note to this. He made Democrats against taxes. They were afraid that taxes were going to go up and the prices of goods was going to go up. You never heard this in the Biden years. I addressed this a little bit on my last video, where I talked about Biden bringing our economy down so low that nobody could make it. You had Biden had a 9% inflation rate. Democrats and even some Republicans were saying how this was wrong for Donald Trump. Is going to raise the inflation rate. You heard the Republicans talk about the inflation rate in the Biden years, but you never heard Democrats. even to a point where some Democrats were saying, hey, this is a good thing that inflation's going up and high prices are going up. That means things are moving in the market, which it really means opposite. Now, I know I'm probably going to get some pushback from the people on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts and all that if this makes a clip. I don't know. But this whole tariff thing did really bring out a lot of hypocrisy on the left-hand side. Now, Donald Trump doing this has put up the stock market. Again, I think the Dow, last time I seen, was over 2,000, close to 3,000 points. You had them say, look, this was strategy. This was the art of the deal at its finest. You had 75 countries come to the table, and this is Donald Trump telling them, hey, this is a reward for you coming to the table. Now, all tariffs are not gone. Okay, Donald Trump didn't wake up this morning say, I'm just going to clear all tariffs. I think they brought it down to 10% tariffs across the board. And the reason being, 75 countries came to Donald Trump and said, listen, we value our relationship with the United States. We want a fair deal. Y'all want a fair deal. Let's work it out. So Donald Trump said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you 90 days. Now, Donald Trump and his administration early last week said this to all these countries. Listen, don't come back and try to put tariffs on us. Don't try to hurt us by pushing tariffs because we're giving tariffs on you. You're going to be rewarded if you don't. And guess what? These tariffs, I'm trying to say the right word. Excuse me. These tariffs that the country is going to put, I can't say the word at the moment, but anyway. But these to push back on the United States, oh, you're giving us tariffs, so guess what? We're going to go ahead and push tariffs on you. They didn't do that, and guess what? They got 90-day pause, and they're working out a deal. Again, this is what Donald Trump wanted. Donald Trump thought that the American people were getting treated unfairly by all these countries, and he decided, hey, I'm going to do this, and it's going to work, and it's going to benefit the American people, and it did. And ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the stock market is going up. We're probably going to have fairer trade agreements. It's awesome. Look, even some of our allies were abusing us in tariffs. Again, it goes to the point, and I've been making this point ever since the debate started with tariffs. If tariffs don't work, why are every other country doing it except the United States? Think about this, okay? Think about if tariffs don't work, why are other countries doing it to us? And we show it also works for, at least for deal making, because ever since Donald Trump started saying, hey, I'm going to push tariffs on people, countries have started bending to our will. Now, we're not trying to be dictators or anything like that, but we're just trying to have a fair deal. It goes to the same point with Mexico and Canada. And look, I was against Trump when he said, hey, I'm going to still put tariffs on Mexico after Mexico went ahead and tried to secure the southern border. He said, look, I'm going to put a 25% tariff on you guys. They went ahead and sent troops at the border. Now, there haven't been news about Donald Trump's tariffs on Mexico. They went ahead and put tariffs on us, and this is why it's called a trade war. Now, there was one country that did not come to the table and say, hey, let's make a fair deal because they're communists and they're rootless thugs, and that is China. Okay? China got pushed with 125% tariff. Why? Because Donald Trump went ahead and put I believe it was like an 80% tariff on them, 84% tariff, and they countered Trump and said, look, we're going to go ahead and increase our tariff. Well, let me go ahead and read it right here. Let's put that onto the screen. While most countries will see a tariff reprove, Trump hit China with a higher tax, citing a lack of respect that China has shown the world markets. The increased tariff goes into effect immediately and comes after the Chinese government retaliated. That's the word I was looking for. Retaliated with an 84% tariff to the counter Trump's prior 50% tariff. So Donald Trump raised the tariff to 50%. They retaliated and they said, hey, we're going to put an 84% tariff on you guys. Ha ha. See? Well, Donald Trump said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and put 125%. Now, I don't disagree with Donald Trump for doing this because one is China. Okay, China has been abusing America for years. And unfortunately, we have some politicians that have helped and abated in that. There's politicians that have helped China get into the position they're in now. And look, I'm sorry. Look, I know there's some brothers and sisters in Christ that are in China. There's probably some good people in China, but the Chinese government is communist. Okay, they do not, I repeat, they do not allow American imports into their country, but they want us to bring in their imports. And unfortunately, America has been suckered into allowing this to happen. And for them to go ahead and retaliate against Donald Trump right away and say, oh, well, we're going to raise up these prices or raise up these tariffs, show their true motives. Now, there is a business aspect to this too, okay? I helped run my dad's business for a couple of years. I also know a couple of business people, and in the line of work I'm in now, we had to do it recently. If something goes up, you have to raise your prices up as well. Okay, because that you're used of a certain dollar percentage or a certain income coming into your business, and if your supplier says, hey, we got to raise the price up 10%, you have to raise it up 10%. I think this was part what China was doing. China, let's just say they had a 50% tariff on us. Donald Trump says, okay, we're going to stay even with you guys, we're going to put 50% tariffs. They're not making no money no more. So what they do, well, we got to raise it up to whatever the percentage was to keep bringing in our income. That could be an issue for China. However, though, I don't think that was it. I just think China is money hungry, and they were just like, hey, we're going to be bigger and badder than Trump, so we're going to put this 84% tariff. Now Donald Trump puts 125. They retaliated, and guess what? They're not part of this pause. Now, I don't know about the UK. I heard that the UK went ahead and raised tariffs on the United States. I don't know if they're in that 75 countries that Trump and Caroline Levitt talked about, but Caroline Levitt, I don't know if they went ahead and if they're included. I'm guessing they are. I don't know. The UK is a big trade partner with us. Now, going to this though too, for the past week, I've been hearing Democrats cry and complain and say all kind of stuff about Donald Trump in the stock market. Stock market went up today. Will that make the Democrats happy? Probably not. Heard Chuck Schumer earlier and saying this is chaotic. This is wrong. Donald Trump, this administration don't know what they're doing, and they're still complaining about Donald Trump. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you. They're probably upset that Donald Trump did this. Why do I say that? Because when the economy is down and everything is going poorly for them, well, not for them, for Donald Trump, the Democrats think they have a good shot of winning 2026, and they're thinking they even got a better shot of winning the presidency in 2028. Remember, Donald Trump is in his second term. He cannot run again. And I've been teasing you guys. I want to put out a video on that. I need to put a video out on that. Comment below and let me know if you would like to see my take on Trump third term, which I'll tell you right now is Trump. If Trump was listening, he wouldn't like what I say about him going for a third term. But going to that, Donald Trump's in his last term, and they're thinking, hey, it's going to be an open seat, which it will be. He won't be an incumbent, and you're going to have J.D. Vance or somebody else running on the right and on the left. They're going to get their people lined up. They think bad publicity is going to help their case, and it has. Okay, people this week that are strong Trump supporters have been doubting Trump and saying, oh, this is bad. I can't believe Donald Trump's doing this right before midterms, and we have all this other stuff. He's worried about all these tariffs. Now today is all up, and all the Republicans are like, oh, it worked, yay! But Democrats like when Trump has bad news. If Trump has bad news, it helps them out. So the stock market going up, and this, look, in my opinion, and I know there's going to be people that are watching this, in my opinion, this made Donald Trump look good. Donald Trump held his guns. Donald Trump said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and wait. He did it to China, which I agree with, because China is a competitor, yes, but at the same time, they don't hold the same values as us. And look, they will stab us in the back as quick as they could. Or can, whatever, the proper English is for that. But these people, the Democrats, You know, it's all. Let me create my thought again. I shoot that rabbit. I'm going all over the place. But Donald Trump held his gun and made him look good. Okay, think about this. Donald Trump looked good. Now it's making them look bad. Like, it makes Donald Trump like he knew what he was doing. Again, only with China. He did right by China. Hey, you retaliated against us. We're going to retaliate against you as well. And now everybody's like, oh, well, this is a good. We get better trade deals now. We got 90 days to put a trade deal together. It made Donald Trump look good. Democrats, oh, Donald Trump's chaotic. Donald Trump's playing red light, green light, according to Chuck Schumer. So this did not make the Democrats happy today. They wanted this to continue. They wanted Donald Trump to continue pushing tariffs. They wanted Donald Trump to not pause this because it made them look good. Now it's making them look bad. And look, there's all kind of stuff with this going around. Well, Donald Trump wasted $10 trillion in the economy. That's one comment I seen on TikTok earlier this week. Oh, Donald Trump's ruining the retirement of people. I can't believe Donald Trump is doing that. But what about today? Now all the stock market's up. Oh, they all got their money back. Look, I know the what's his name? Dave Ramsey. I couldn't think of his name. Dave Ramsey's happy because Dave Ramsey put out a video and he said, look, when the stock market's down, I'm happy. I buy more stock, and then when it rises up, I sell it. And that's coming from a man that is a financial wizard. But again, Democrats didn't like this. And this will not make Democrats happy. Okay? I've come to the point, whatever Donald Trump does, the Democrats are not going to be happy with. Okay? I've said this many a times. Donald Trump can heal cancer. And they will say Donald Trump messed up the medical field because he took doctors out of business. I'm just being honest with you. Donald Trump could go ahead and end the inflation. He could end world hunger. He can announce peace throughout the whole entirety of the world, and there's still going to be somebody that's going to say, no, Donald Trump is this, and this, and there's mostly going to be Democrats that say that. So look, and I said this on my last video. I hope, and my whole video wasn't about tariffs, by the way. I'm just saying, but I talked briefly about it. I said this. I hope everything works out. And look, it looks like it's working out. Now we got to see what China does, because China does hold a lot of our imports. And I want to see what China's going to retaliate with next. What, they're going to charge us 200? And is Donald Trump's going to go to 300? We're going to have to wait and see. I'm going to be honest with you, though. I think China needs us more than we need China. Now, we understand with the debt crisis and everything like that, we'll have to see what's going on. But I look, right now, it looks like it's good. It looks like it's good, especially for the 75 nations. They only got 10% tariff across the board. I hope these nations come and they give us a better trade deal. And look, we even got some other good news. The Trump tax cut, the resolution, it cleared a big hurdle today. And it looks like it's going to go to the House floor for debate. And we hope it passes, because America needs relief. The American people need relief, because the Biden years were horrible to the American people. And with this stuff, look, the last week, it wasn't peaches and roses either. But now it looks like it looks for right now, there's a pause on tariffs and stock markets regaining. And what's going to be the next thing the Democrats are going to cry about? What's the next thing that Ronald Republicans are going to cry about? All you have to do is wait and see, and I'll watch and look, and I'll bring it up on the show. Hey, before we go, though, I do want to remind you guys, if you can do me a favor, let me go ahead and type it up. Let me go ahead and put it right here. Yeah, so I want to go ahead and tell you guys about a great website called PRIMETIME Media. PRIMETIME Media is the home of the Isaac Hayes Show. I am signed with this media company, and we have 3 shows that we promote here: the Kelby and Joe Show, Kelby Talks, and the Isaac Hayes Show, who is yours truly. You get what I'm saying? And look, we got some great stories here, guys. And we give you stories. Look, talking about the tariff hike, talking about the stock surge. This is our Primetime Media politics page. Our homepage, if you look at it, we have all the stories up there. You can also enter in for our giveaway. So our giveaway is some a Yeti cup and a pair of AirPods, the latest AirPods. But we need people to sign up, so you need to go ahead and put your email address in. Go ahead and check out Primetime Media. Listen to our shows and tell Primetime Media that, hey, I sent you guys. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I promise you, you will enjoy this this website. Again, the Isaac K Show is a Primetime Media network podcast. So guys, go ahead and check that out. I would appreciate you to do that. And also, if you can, please hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button. Depending on all the platforms you are on, that you're listening on. We're on several platforms. Also, go check out our Brothers Just Searching podcast on all the same platforms that the Isaac K Show is on. With that being said, I got to roll out. Thank you guys so much for being part of this episode. Please tell your friends, share with all your family members, and let them know that Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back, and he's coming back soon, so don't be faint of heart. Jesus has overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus, your Lord and Savior, you can always reach out to me, and I'll tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and heaven your home. Until next time, guys, you be blessed. You have a good one.